If you're just joining, I'll be starting momentarily. Just give it a minute or so for people to log on and join on. All right. Just give it a couple of seconds here and get started here shortly. Okay, it's 2 o'clock. All good. So thanks very much for joining in today. My name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca and also Bizon Capital Corporation. And I'll talk about those a little bit later as we go along here. I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years officially, but many years before that. Probably since I was 14, 15 was the first taste of entrepreneurship. My dad was a business owner as well, being a veterinarian, although I never really thought about him as an entrepreneur, but in hindsight, he definitely was. TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca puts on 2 conferences a year. One in the spring in Mississauga, and then one in the fall in Toronto. Our next one is supposed to be on May 6th. We're still reviewing as to whether we're going to be doing it, postponing it, and so on. I've had the pleasure over the years with the conference of being of meeting a lot of entrepreneurs, which was great. Christine McGee from Sleep Country, Robert Hertzvik from Hertzvik Group and Shark Tank, Marc Belaiche from Yak Yaks. Just really a lot of great number of people, which was fantastic. So feel free to send me some suggestions for topics. And if you have any questions, just type them in the box and I'll try to answer them as much as possible. So today's topic is our common questions and answers that I'm receiving from business owners, that I'm hearing from business owners. I spoke with a business owner this morning concerned about layoffs and what that might mean and what that might look like. So a lot of questions on the business owner side of it. At 12 o'clock, I run a Facebook Live for job seekers on Facebook Live, and then at 12:30, I run a Instagram Live on job seekers as well for job seekers. But at 2 o'clock every day, weekdays at 2 o'clock, I run a webinar on Facebook Live for business owners, and then at 2:30 we flip over to the Toronto Entrepreneurs platform on Instagram, and I run it there as well. So just some questions that keep coming up, and the first question was I talked about just now with another company that I spoke with. I'm laying off staff, business is down, what should I do? So a few things to think about. Give appropriate notice if when necessary. Ministry of Labor covers off the minimum standards for employment standards, but your contract may spell otherwise, so just review those 2 things. If you have to talk to an employment lawyer, do that. Plan for who's going to do the work. You might have to deal with the unknowns about work, emails, forwarding of emails, who's going to cover off the work while if you do lay somebody off. You'll be able to drop unnecessary tasks that the person was doing. Obviously, you're going to restructure the company, restructure the business when someone leaves, when you have massive layoffs, or just even one person. It can be fairly personal and unique. When you lay it off, do it professionally. Obviously, it's a tough time for everybody, the employer and the employee. You're changing their career, you're changing their direction, you're taking away their source of income. So just do it, professionally. Be sympathetic, and if you suspect that you're going to need someone back, maybe you just throw out a temporary layoff as opposed to a permanent layoff, because you never know, might need somebody there. A couple other things that you may want to do is consider reducing their hours, only if you need that it's like if you need that person, maybe you just don't need them full time. Maybe you can just reduce their hours. Maybe you can reduce their pay as well. Think about changing the way your company works. Like maybe you can provide some of your products or services online through different channels and so on. So again, my name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. I'm just, if you're just joining, I'm covering off some common questions and answers that I'm getting from business owners and concerned entrepreneurs that have businesses as well. So question number 2 is, I heard of government programs from federal and provincial governments for businesses. What are they? So there's a lot of government programs that have been created very, very quickly. There's obviously spending measures that are going on that are keeping things moving. There's a Canada Emergency Response Benefit, what they're calling CERB, that can help self-employed individuals. Federal government has announced a new monthly payment of $2,000 over 4 months for each of the 4 months to help Canadians whose income has been impacted by coronavirus. So you can apply to that even if you, I believe, even if you weren't in employment, even if you weren't collecting or paying into EI as a somebody self-employed. There's a source deduction reduction wage benefits for companies. So it's a 3-month wage subsidy that's available for small businesses, and there's some criteria that you need to follow. For example, not-for-profits, charities, and it will be up to 10% of your payroll, up to a maximum of $1,375 per employee and $25,000 per employer. So basically, it reduces your source deductions as well. And then the province of Ontario has also announced a $17 billion plan as well, which can help, might be attributed to small business. But in this environment, I'm hearing it from everybody. Small businesses are being impacted, and they're not getting the support from government, and they're the ones that are the engine of providing jobs. And then I'm also seeing where employees are saying, well, it's not enough, like how am I going to live off this? So there's a lot of tough times right now going on. So make sure, at the end of the day, as a business owner, like make sure you know what you're entitled to, because over the years you've been paying taxes, and these are designed to benefit you as a business owner. Number 3 question, and these are 5 questions. If you have any questions at all, but by all means, just throw them out there. I have 7 questions here that I've been receiving. So when is your next Toronto Entrepreneurs Conference? We always hear some great stuff from people, feedback about how the conference is a great way of connecting with people, finding out products and services, and from our exhibitors and sponsors. So our next event is scheduled for May 6th at the Mississauga Convention Center. As we're getting closer, given that we're March 26th today, we are looking at options to postpone, which would be unfortunate. But we will be putting it together. We do need some lead time to get it put together, but I thank you for your support. You can check out TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca for updates as to when things will be on. Things will be thrown together, not thrown together, but put together is better. It is a lot of work to put on the conference, and the team spends a lot of hours planning for it. So, like everything, it's disappointing to have to postpone. But it is the world we live in right now. Question number 4, I got this, how to do a barter partnership. We've done a lot of barters as a company. We have something that somebody else wants. They have something that we want. We create something. So we create some kind of partnership. We create some kind of barter. We've done all kinds of deals over the years, which is great. And I think it is a great opportunity to do that. So you really have to think about what your business is all about, what your business is about, what you're looking for. Maybe you need space. Maybe somebody else has space. I'm always one to pick up the phone and call competitors, because they're in the same boat that you are, but maybe they have something that you need, and maybe you have something that they need, and you just reach out, and some amazing partnerships have been built that way, just by competitors talking to each other. Ram posted a question. Do you think this can be a good potential to start your own business? And what resources do you have that can help understanding the entrepreneurship journey? So, as far as is it a good potential time? It depends on your personal situation. Depends on what your situation, like, have you been laid off? Have you been uh, building your own business on the side, and this is maybe an impetus to do that. So, starting something from complete scratch may be difficult, but it may be a good time. And if you've just been laid off, for example, or if you've think about a product or service that you think there's a need for it, this may be a great time to do that. And especially people working from home, you can build on that, and you can do a lot of research online. When I first started my business back in 2005, like, there really wasn't a lot of support for companies. Like, I really had to dig. I mean, accounting systems were archaic compared to what we have now. Email lists. I mean, we still had to mail things. I mean, there was email, but not email marketing. And today, in today's world, you can really get going on a business very, very quickly. What resources do I have that can help understanding the entrepreneurship journey? I think reading, like watching these videos and webinars, that's great. I think that's can be very helpful. There are a lot of government funded. I'm not sure where you are, Ram, but Mississauga Business Enterprise Center. There's City of Toronto, like there's support groups that way. The BDC is very supportive of new businesses and new ventures, and that can be helpful for you as well. So, and they will provide loans for you as well to get your business started. So you might want to explore those channels, especially when you're starting up your business. And keep an eye on TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, so you can follow us, and you can get some points also on where to how to start your business or get going on that. So if you're just joining, my name is Marc Belaiche, President of TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. I'm just running out of some common questions and answers that I've been getting, and I'll probably do another 5 minutes or so. I'll probably finish by 20 after 2. So question number 5, examples of times when things went bad for someone you've met and what they've done. There's some real winners right now in the business, like the businesses thrive in this kind of market, like the company that provides us with our internet and computers and support. They've received triple the number of requests that they did before all this stuff happened, because people are working from home, and so their expectations are a lot higher. So there's going to be winners and losers, but I can give you a couple of examples of times that were bad, and you look back and you reflect and you go, okay, you know what, made it through. So one example of a guy that I met at the Toronto Entrepreneurs Conference and I interviewed was Jonathan Carroll from Travel Nation Canada. And he gave the example of he was looking at, this is back in 2001, September of 2001. You may know where I'm going with this, but in September of 2001, he had just built this great call center near the airport that he looked out, and he had all kinds of people, and they were booking flights and vacations and cruises and everything else. And 9/11 happened. So all of a sudden, the business side of his business completely dropped. And unfortunately, he had to revamp, and it took some time before people were comfortable after that to travel, because everybody was concerned about flights and planes and everything else. So but he made it through, and he thrived and he survived after that. So he didn't give up. Like, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it through. It's gonna get better. People are gonna travel again. It's gonna take some time, but I gotta make some changes. Gotta make some cuts. Gotta do whatever I need to do to survive. It is a business after all. And the second example is Robert Deleuze, who I had also interviewed at the Toronto Entrepreneurs Conference from Porter Airlines. And he talked about getting sued multiple times from by Air Canada, who tried to get him out of business. Now, there wasn't a collapse, in the sense of what we have now, coronavirus. This was a steady attack, where they just tried to put him out of business, because Porter Airlines was just kind of competing in that market with local flights. So he waited it out, and he defended himself, and he believed in what he was doing, and he made it through. And you think of Porter Airlines right now, and aside from what's happening in the airline industry right now, he's done really, really well for himself, but he stuck it out, and those were tough times. Question number 6, I'm thinking of selling my business. What do I do? You might want to speak with your accountant to get a valuation. There's also evaluators out there. If you're looking for a recommendation, I'm happy to help you with that. I'll type out my email address here as well, so you can certainly email me if you'd like. I can give you some recommendations to some business evaluators who might be able to help you out with that. Valuations are obviously wacky right now. It's a tough time, so you know how much you're going to get. But I find that when things are going well, people don't want to sell, and when times are bad, they want to sell and they want to get out of the business. But the reality is that whatever it is that in your situation. I mean, I've had a guy who was 82, 83 years old who eventually decided to sell his business, and he was doing an accounting practice. So I think you really got to do some soul searching, where you want to be, what you want to do. When times are good is probably one better time to sell. But when times are bad and maybe you've had enough, then you got to do what you got to do. So on that point, brokers will generally not deal with companies that are less than $1 million in revenues. But if you're interested with Bizon Capital Corporation that I'm involved with my partner Bruce Singer, we can talk to you about it. So just reach out to me and we'll talk about what your business is and what you may have and what you might be looking to do with it. Number 7, financing options available. What are the financing options right now? So a few things here, a few ideas. Bank, they will defer your mortgage payments up to 6 months right now. So talk to them. The big banks have all agreed to help out with loans for property. Negotiate with your suppliers and vendors on better extended terms. BDC loans are available. The government of Canada is providing all these loans and support that might be helpful for you as well, that I mentioned earlier. There's certain property taxes that are also being deferred in certain municipalities. And of course, there's tax deadlines that are also being deferred too. So, using all those as a source of revenues. I wouldn't generally recommend the bank being one that you want to negotiate with, because their penalties for not paying HST, for example, are fairly high, or your source deductions are fairly high. So I wouldn't recommend using the government as a tool, but certainly, suppliers and vendors, you want to maybe create some partnerships, maybe work on some payment terms just to slow down the payment of the area. So those are the questions, common questions that I have. Just to spend a couple more minutes on talking about how you can reach me and how you can reach TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Happy to see if I can help you out. So it's Marc Belaiche, M-A-R-C, and then Belaiche. So I put my email address in there. You can reach out on LinkedIn. You can also email me. That I just put the email address in there. If you want to call me, my phone number is 905-812-5627, extension 2873. And you can also text me or call me at 905-783-1777. We are working on a webinar series that we're going to be launching in the next few days, or once we got a webinar software going. Our Toronto Entrepreneurs Conference, I mentioned about May 6th, but keep an eye out on the website at TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. See if there's something there as far as a new announced date. If you're looking to add temporary or permanent staff, we can help you out with that on the Toronto job side. If you're looking to lay off staff and you want to provide some outplacement services to help somebody in their job search, let us know. Reach out to me as well, and I can help you with that. If your company, you're thinking about needing maybe a CFO for short term, just to get you through, just from a financial perspective, you can reach out to us at Bruce at Bizon Capital. It's BIZON Capital.ca, and it's Bizon Capital Corp is the website as well. So you can check it out. And then if you're looking to sell through Bizon Capital Corp, we also have our options for some one-on-one coaching sessions on how to sell your business, what you should do with that. And if you're interested in selling your business and you just need some advice, feel free to reach out to myself or to Bruce, and we'll see what we can do. So yeah, just go onto the website, bizoncapital.ca, B-I-Z-O-N capital.ca, and not an S, Z, and have a look. And as far as TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca goes, we're on all the social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Each weekday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Time, running this live webinar. You can certainly join in at any time, and then the video will be available on our Facebook Live page, and then we're also running it on LinkedIn. We're working on getting it on LinkedIn Live, and then Instagram at 2:30 p.m. Weekdays from 2:30 to about 2:45. I run the same segment. So if you're on Instagram, you missed part of this, you want to hop on to Instagram, there are different features on there where you can jump in on to get in live on that one too. So feel free to join me on that. That'll start in about 10 minutes or so. And just in conclusion, take advantage of all the benefits that are there, government or otherwise, negotiate with suppliers, get some exercise as well. I know it's tough right now. You might want to think, hey, I got to be at my computer all the time, but try to get some exercise, get out. It'll clear your mind a little bit. I want to thank Bruce Inger, co-founder of Bizon Capital Corp. I want to thank Rachel and Alex for their help in setting this webinar up and the support that they've been doing through these challenging times. And as I mentioned, 905-812-5627 is my phone number, extension 2873. Call me 905-783-1777 or text me. And be safe. And thanks to all the healthcare workers out there keeping us safe. And hopefully we'll get through this pretty quickly, and we'll all be better on the other side. And I want to thank you for joining. Have a great day, and hopefully see you tomorrow at 2:00 on Facebook Live. And like I said, if you're on Instagram, check out the TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca Instagram page. I'll be there starting in about 10 minutes or so. Have a great day, and thank you very much for joining.